live, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're to 600 subscribers.
Riddle. Calero.
So this will be just a blank string, and we will have a sleeping string today.
Roberto.
So
The
let's get to
deflection
600
from the corner
subscribers.
down that right-hand side for the home side. Let's see a little bit more encouraged by what they're seeing in the second half. Esposito. That was climbing. There were in claims for a handball. Romero feeds it back towards Esposito. Asking questions of the referee. Some of the decisions that have gone against Espanyol, maybe they were hoping for something to be given back to them there, but
certainly not this one.
Never a penalty.
This was a bit awkward what happened to Ruben Sanchez in the last game, that penalty given.
Yes.
Absolutely no chance that was a penalty. That's why Manolo Gonzalez is so upset. Apart from not winning the last games.
Right at the death as well. That handball which ended eventually the 3-2 win. Ramazani converting the penalty.
So three defeats and one draw in the last 4 for Espanyol. That's a very bad one.
Still comfortably sitting in 5th position. That just says how incredible their season has been.
I will go for the last two substitutions for Alaves will be Rebaca and Murillo. That's it from right.
So no new signing. Angel Perez come on, but Rebaca and Murillo do tend to come on in the latter stages of games. Esposito. Johnny.
Also, Johnny is a good sign. I think that now that Carlos Vicente is gone, he should have more responsibility to go forward and bring these crosses to the team. So, a good season so far also for Johnny.
Facundo Martes.
Celta de Vigo for 6 seasons. Then he went to Wolves, PAOK, and now back to La Liga.
I didn't remember PAOK. That's similar to the Crotone. Yeah.
Well, the last season he played 35 games for PAOK, so first choice.
I wasn't watching too much Greek football last year, I must admit. But Amia clears. Enriquez to space for Alinea. So he's come away with it It's Carlos Aleña. Now Facundo Garcés.
Who's been pretty good so far. Apart from this corner kick. That was a very great move.
Incredible, savvy veteran reaction to a clear handball inside the box.
Yeah, but going back, I'm talking seriously. It's not easy for a player who's been out for 4 months to perform. You have to substitute a teammate, and despite I'm sure that he's been training with the team all this time, but
Tony Martinez, an empty net, and a goal scored by Lucas Boyer. Oh, Leandro Cabrera got a little bit too confident in trying to usher that ball out of play. Tony Martinez, who never gives up on anything, won back the ball and placed it on a silver platter for Lucas Boyer, who scores his 5th goal of the season. This time it's Alaves who score against the run of play.
yeah, exactly. And it was the second half was about Espanyol. Tony Martinez asking for a substitution after he gave the assist to Lucas Boyer. As you said, Tony always fighting for all the goals. Leandro Cabrera got a bit sloppy there. We can see her play. That's a good move, but it should have been easier for Cabrera. The header back to Dimitrovic has been very poor, and then well done by Tony. And of course, Boyer was an easy one. So Tony out, I'm sure, because of the said that he picked up an injury and possibly it's time for Guridi. But yesterday, the last 5-10 minutes, let's go back on track a little bit. Not creating many chances, but they recover a little bit possession and well, frustration from Leandro.
Cabrera, who we were talking so highly about earlier, it's rare to see him commit a mistake like that. It's almost difficult to believe that the move was alive when we saw that Cabrera had headed it straight at Tony Martinez, but gift to Alaves, 2-1 up, and now John Guridi. Now it makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Try and have a bit more of the ball.
Yeah, exactly. I would have done it earlier, but now every time that a commentator talks, he just goes against himself. And yeah, Tony, great, a very good goal. But now Alaves, what they need going ahead on the score sheet is half the ball possession, not losing long possession. Then Guridi is going to be good for him.
Now on comes John Guridi, another product of the Real Sociedad Academy, for Tony Martinez, who once again has run himself into the ground. Happy Alaves fans there in the stands.
Still a window for Alaves, considering that Facundo Garcés has been introduced at the half-time.
Yeah, 4 substitutions used.
I would go for Rebac in for Carlos Aleña. Let's see.
You get those two right. You got Guridi right.
Who are the other options? Alex Perez, Aitor Mañas. I don't think they're going to come on. Guevara's on already. Yeah, I'll go for Rebac.
Sanchez coming on for Espanyol. They've only used up 2 substitutions with Gravilla and Tyree Stolen. It's been an issue with, who knows, with Omar El Hilali.
Yeah.
Riedel has started the game and Ruben Sanchez is going to come on.
Well, Omar is on the bench, so on paper he should be able to play at least 15 minutes. Yeah.
He's returning from a ban, not from an injury.
Exactly.
So it's a surprising one. Esposito got there first, but he acknowledged that there had been contact, and he's quite surprised with the referee's decision.
Yeah, he's given the foul to Alaves because of the fall of Pablo Ibanez, but I think it's been Pablo Ibanez's foul.
Esposito clearly got there. Clear the ball. If anything, it's Ibanez who comes in.
Yeah, exactly.
In a more aggressive manner than Esposito.
And he kicked Esposito. So, well, the fall was.
Yeah, there's no denying that he
Was
hurt
that,
himself
yeah,
on the
yeah,
way
yeah,
down,
definitely.
Ivanyev. But I think Esposito was right to feel harshly treated there by the referee.
So Ruben Sanchez didn't come on yet, yeah?
But still waiting for that third substitution. Aleñá. Oh, wonderful ball yet again from Carlos Aleñá's service again. Tip top from the former Club Barcelona player.
John Pacheco nearly there. It was a good touch, good control, but unfortunately it just went a little bit to his left.
Goes into the corridor of uncertainty. Dimitrovic didn't know whether to come or not. Guridi. Riedel. Taken by Jean Pacheco.
So with Ruben Sanchez, I think that Manolo wants more crosses. Ruben, of course, is a right back. Riedel is a centre back. And, well, possibly we'll see Ruben going forward and putting crosses into the box. They need that now. So, well.
Cabrera. Youssef.
Well done.
Blanco was a little bit rushed there in his decision.
It is frustrating when you try to hold the ball and play short and not losing to pass it to a teammate and the teammate kick it long. It's just like, well, come on. I could have done it myself.
Romero to Calero. Riedel getting forward. One of the first times in this game. There's a foul on Kike Garcia. Esposito asking all the right questions. Aleñá. Held on to the ball a little bit too long, Aleñá.
Yeah, sometimes he commit these mistakes, isn't he? He does everything right in the first 2-3 touches, and then instead of passing the ball, there was not really a passing line to Guridi, but sometimes it just takes too long. Went forward, of course.
Comes Ruben for Riedel, but probably hoping that he gets a bit more forward than the German. It's overthrown for Milla. Aleñá. Lucas Boyer, miles away from the opposition half and penalty area. Really nowhere to go for the Argentinian.
Well, it's strange that he committed this mistake. Normally, when it was a 4 versus 1, and normally he turns and he covers the ball and uses his body to play the ball back. He decided to go forward and lost it. Another long ball for Espanyol.
Put away by Pacheco. Throw by Ruben Sanchez. Cabrera wins the header. Put away by Ibanez. Lucas Boyer gets there before Carlos Romero. Turns, holds off the challenge of Romero. Ibanez. Guridi. And blocked by Calero. Oh, that was Lucas Boyer doing exactly what you were asking from him.
he normally does well. It was strange before that he took the wrong decision, but it's gonna be important. I don't know if he's gonna last. He's gonna play for these last 10 minutes. He looks tired, but
phenomenal effort from Lucas Boyer. From Alenia Guridi.
ooh, it's a great header.
Mitrovic was rooted to the ground, looking on as it floated over the crossbar.
So there's one substitution for Alaves, and I said Rebac, but seeing how Lucas Boyer is, Aitor Mañas is also an option as a striker for Lucas. That's it. As you said, no friends.
He's given away a few free kicks, Josef Enriquez, which are an invitation for Espanyol. Dolan. Again, the Englishman is caught.
Well, they will try to win some free kicks. But as you said, Espanyol are really dangerous. No doubt of the foul of Carlos Alanya.
Struggled to muster any chances from open play, Espanyol. This is an option. Esposito, for the first time today, he doesn't put it right on the money. Cleared comfortably by Alaves. Robin Sanchez. Dolan. Romero. Calero.
Cabrera staying forward just in the case there is a cross.
He's waiting for the ball to get forward. It's across the wing now for Edu Esposito. Romero. Some good movements. Remilla. Kike Garcia at the far post. But the flag is up. And for the first time, a huge gap had appeared in that Alaves defence. They couldn't make the most of it as Kike Garcia was offside. Oh, that's going to be tight.
Yeah, but I think his right shoulder
about,
is
yeah.
offside. Yeah, it was very, very tight, but I think the ref is right.
Confirmation. Kike Garcia was offside. And a couple of substitutions made here by Espanyol. El Rubio coming on for Urco. Pickle replacing Calero. The other way round, surely.
Well, nothing changes in terms of the setup of the team.
Pablo Ibañez. Johnny. Straight into Peravilla.
Well done now, finding Guridi, playing with calm. anymore.
Long from Sivera. Alenia. Youssef. Alenia.
Well done. Now this is what they have to do. Exactly.
Lucas Boyer. Gets his body in the way again.
Now it's time to go to the other side if possible.
Youssef. Alenia. Oh, it's wonderful from Alenia. What a performance he's had today.
Yeah, it's gonna be lasting almost all game, and could have been replaced by Rebac, as we've been talking, but it's been great. I think he's won in the last seasons a fantastic working ethic because his quality is there with the left foot, top talented player, and he's added this working, and of course the offside is pretty clear.
Alenia is going to be vital for Alaves to stay up in La Liga EA Sports this season.
But this is the first time that they could link Fain Guridi, Antonio Blanco, Alenia. Well, it is good now. And they try to have the ball.
Lucas Boyer. Oh, he's going to take something special from there. Cabrera.
Another long ball with no sense. It's what I said before. I think Espanyol and Manolo are having a good season, but this is what you get from Manolo. If you want to do or make a step forward, let's say score. Oh,
Youssef Rodriguez. And a poor sloppy pass at the back. Reaching for him, Villa and Roberto got in each other's way. Pickle. Ruben Sanchez. Carlos Romero. Looking to Kike Garcia.
what a save.
I was going to say, it looked like a push in the back from Kike Garcia.
Yeah, possibly didn't need it, but that's been a super save from Antonio Silvera. What a goalkeeper. Never talk about Silvera. Never been international thing, but what a goalkeeper. What a save.
Not only did he get his hand on the ball, but he diverted it away from the goal. It's an evident push from Kike Garcia on Ander Guevara. Villa. Guevara. Kicking against Carlos Romero. Referee said he used his hand or his arm to push Pablo Ibanez out of the way.
I'm thinking about, of course, there's very little time now to the end, but because Espanyol are gonna keep putting crosses in, and there's one substitution left. Possibly Tenaglia is not the best option, but playing with three centre backs for these 7-8 minutes left, it would be an option for Alaves, but I'm not sure about bringing Tenaglia on at this stage of the game. But it would be a good option to finish the game with three centre backs, just in case.
Alenia, that one goes straight at Dimitrovic. He hoofs a long ball. Kike Garcia wins the header.
Humble, Johnny.
Made something happen from the most routine of moves. Espanyol, the long kick from Dimitrovic. Esposito. He's got plenty to aim at. Chips it towards the far post. Someone with an offside position. Garcia. A bit too early. Another day suffering at the LCD Stadium for the home fans. Not been too much of that this year.
Yeah, there's a lot of spaces. People are going home.
Still only 2-1. Never know. Pickle. There's 6 minutes of added time. Things can still happen. Esposito. Romero. Enemy has been caught off the ball.
By Facundo, who's in no fights. Well, if he gets back and his situation is on hold at the moment, but if he's able to keep playing, it's going to be important for the team. What a strong centre back.
Character as well brings to the team, which will be much needed in that relegation battle. Cabrera. It's a shame that he's the longest thrower of the ball, Cabrera, if they want to have him inside the box. Romero. Dolan looks up. Can't beat the first man, Guridi. Lucas Boyer.
Well done. Well done.
Holds it up and finds Guridi.
I was going to say, they only need to go to the other side. That was a little bit too risky. The idea was good. And now what they need to do is from side to side, moving the ball. The same side is difficult. Now back and to the left. And this is what they have to do.
Sivera. Boyer.
Well done. Fantastic.
Absolute masterclass how to play the target man role from Lucas Boyer yet again. Johnny. Thought the referee would help him out there.
Well, have few of possibilities to give the ball to Paulo Ibanez, and he didn't. He was looking for the foul.
Cabrera. Miguel Rubio. Now Esposito taking it into the Alaves half. Go with his left foot into Esposito. That's some cross. Quique Garcia was diving and it's agonisingly wide for Espanyol. A magnificent ball into the box on his weaker foot by Edu Esposito.
That's a super cross, fantastic, and fantastic kick as always. Unlucky, he was very, very close to make a great impact. It's a little bit too late to the heading, but good chance for Espanyol.
Well, that may have been it for Espanyol. They're going to prolong their run to 5 without a win. Can they at least salvage a point? Pacheco. Oh yeah. Seem to start in an offside position. The move continues. Romero. This wins the header. Alenia bravely ducking into the challenge.
Yeah, it didn't go down. If he goes down, it would have been a foul. Cabrera already being the number 9. 3 strikers now on the pitch for Espanyol.
Stay up there, Leandro Cabrera. He is winning a header. He's set for the clearance. Boyer.
That would have been too much.
That was a difficult one to bring down. Dolan. Esposito. Sanchez maybe needed a flick on rather than an attempt straight on goal from there.
This is a replay of the goal. Well done by Tony Martinez, and Boyer, possibly one of the easiest goals that he scored. Big mistake of Leandro. And that's possibly, more than possibly, going to be giving 3 more points to Alaves, which is
Well, it would be 9 out of the last 12.
fantastic. Well, in the last 4 games, counting the Copa del Rey
Yes.
game, in the last 4 they would have won 3, which is fantastic, fantastic run from Alaves.
It's going to finish down this end of the pitch, so Alaves have probably done enough to hold on to another win. It's only going to be their second victory on the road this season in La Liga after winning at San Mamés. They also conquer the RCD Stadium, and just like that, Alaves are 10th in the table. They'll be heading to a quarter-final clash in the Cup in midweek, and Chacho Collet is doing a magnificent job there. But for Espanyol, Chappy, alarm bells will start to ring because it's 5 games now without a win.
And not only the 5 games, Bruno, it's been the way that they
Yes.
play. There's been no plan B. There's always been playing. Antonio Blanco, of course, for me, it's been fantastic today. They've been playing all the time the same type of balls, long balls, sometimes some crosses, but they haven't been building, they haven't been moving the ball, they haven't been constructing the game. So, well, very predictable. As I said, when the rivals know how you play and they adapt their game to that, it is difficult. So very poor Espanyol to me, and a great game of Alaves. I think they lost the control of the game at the beginning of the second half for 15 minutes, but then I think they, in general, they've played much better than Espanyol.
Great win for the visitors from Vitoria. Deportivo Alaves, as I said, will be taking on Real Sociedad in the quarterfinals of the Copa del Rey on Wednesday, and then they host Getafe at the weekend at Mendizorroza. So another chance to build on that brilliant run of results for them. For Espanyol, they want to snap their losing streak. It doesn't look like the best fixture for it next week, because they're travelling to Villarreal. So it could be another difficult evening for Manolo González and his men. So we see.
Some players seem to defy the odds. Microsoft AI analyzes millions of data points, including shot angle, defender positioning, and distance from goal, to reveal the exact probability of La Liga's most epic moments. Understand the magic with Beyond Stats, powered by Microsoft Copilot and La Liga.
Watch La Liga live on Supersport, the world's best football. It's on. This broadcast is proudly brought to you by Sportingbet. Play with champions.
That's a lot of super savings.
I'm going to need a hand. I'm going to need several hands.
Right now!
Super savings.
Our fuel can go in this car, that car, the one only you dig, and cars that actually do dig, in the cars that float, even cars that fly. So no matter what you drive, ride or fly, we have the right fuel for you. Choose Astron Energy Cortec fuel for your drive today. 4-in-1 technology in every drop for every engine. With over 854 quarts in the next few years, we are South Africa's next biggest fuel brand. Welcome to Astron Energy.
Watch La Liga live on Supersport, the world's best football. It's on. This broadcast is proudly brought to you by SportyBet. Play with champions. Wanna make another buck? Stop it.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Spotify Camp Nou. It's Football Club Barcelona against Oviedo. There is no margin for error now for Hansi Flick's side. A revived Real Madrid beat Villarreal last night to go back to the top. 51 points for Madrid, 49 for Barca. So win this afternoon and they will return to the summit. They're facing Oviedo for the first time in 25 years. Plenty of Oviedo fans have made the trip inside the stadium and they will all remember, and if they don't remember they will have been told, that the last time Oviedo played here a quarter of a century ago they ran out 1-0 winners. Can they produce the same this afternoon? It will be one of the results of the season. They need the points for different reasons to Barca, obviously, because they're currently propping everybody else up. I'm delighted to be joined this afternoon for this game by Terry Gibson. Good afternoon, Terry.
Good afternoon, Pete. It's everybody here is looking as if they're expecting fun, and these fixtures can be dangerous. We heard Hansi Flick before kick-off say that he hopes his team are not complacent, that they do go into the game with playing at a high tempo immediately from the start of the match, not to give Oviedo any hope of competing in this match. But yes, there's points to be won for Barcelona. And of course, Oviedo are having a tough time this season, third manager of the season. This one's doing slightly better, though.
Yes, 8 games for Paunovic, 2 wins, 8 games to carry on, no wins, and 4 games for Almada. No wins yet, but 3 draws in those 4 games, and improvements all round. This is the Oviedo dressing room. They were unlucky last week against Osasuna to go away from that game empty-handed. They deserved at least a point, and that would have been 4 straight draws for them. There is a massive gulf, obviously, with the two sides. Barca have 20 more points than Oviedo. They've scored 43 more goals and let in 9 fewer. So a world of difference, but they start at 0-0, and Oviedo coming off the back of confidence-boosting performances there.
Yeah, if I remember rightly, Peter, Leganés and Las Palmas won here in recent years, and they're now both in the Segunda Division, so they were games that Barcelona were expected to win. I think last season they had a particularly tough November when they dropped points against teams that they should be beating. Have they learned their lesson? Probably. I think at the moment, it's a novelty playing back in the Camp Nou.
Yep.
It looks different every time we get to see the Barcelona team play there. Of course, they haven't played there for some time now.
Well, the worst news for Oviedo is that the front 3 for Barcelona this afternoon, the starting front 3, Rafinha, Lamine, who we just saw there, is going to be presented with the Player of the Month award before kick-off, and Robert Lewandowski. So it's very much the A team up top. You can see Cancelo there in the tunnel. First game starting back at the Camp Nou for him since 2023. A good window signing.
Yep, I think he fulfills a role in the squad where he can play right back, left back. The fact he can play in those 2 positions does mean that players that have been playing in the fullback positions we might possibly see in the centre-back position, Jules Koundé, for instance. So I think it bolsters the squad. It does give the Hansi Flick an opportunity to rest players in games such as this, where he probably still believes that they're going to be strong enough to win this match, with João Cancelo playing right back as opposed to Jules Koundé. So it gives Koundé an afternoon off, and Cancelo will be looking to improve on his substitute performance that we saw last week.
Yeah, not great
against Real Sociedad.
Well, let's have a little bit of history while the players are coming out. 27th of May 2001, last time Oviedo played here. Radjancic was in charge. It was 3 games before the end of the season. They looked doomed, but their fate had not yet been sealed in terms of relegation. They won 1-0. Jaime Jordan scored. Paunovic, of course, was the first manager this season for Oviedo, teed the goal up. Luis Enrique got sent off. And it gave them a lifeline. They weren't able to take that lifeline. They then drew with Madrid in their penultimate game. They lost the last game of the season against Mallorca. And here we are, 25 years later. They're finally back. And they have a huge task this afternoon. And Terry mentioned a couple of teams that have won here, surprisingly. Hercules, if you go back a little bit further, got a big win here as well. I think that's the only time that the bottom team has come here and beaten Barcelona when Barcelona have been top, and Barcelona were top obviously coming into this match day. So they would match that feat if they can pull it off this afternoon, but it is going to be so difficult for them. The new man in charge, Almada, has talked about distractions, players being distracted, making mistakes that have cost them, and it happened last week in that game against Osasuna, which is why they lost it by 3-2. Barca obviously have a big game coming up in midweek against FC Copenhagen. So maybe that means that they want to get business done early here. Let's see if Oviedo allow them to do that. Here's the starting lineup for Barca. Joan Garcia in goal, Gerard Martin at left back, João Cancelo right back, Kubasi 19 on Thursday, partners Eric, Casado and De Jong, Olmo behind Lewandowski, and Lamine and Rafinha on the wings. David Costas is the captain for Oviedo. It's a special game for him. It's a special game for all the Oviedo players, but he played for Barcelona in the 2017-18 or the 2016-17 season. He played for Barca's B team, but he did get one start in the Cup, or he got one performance in the Cup as a substitute for Gerard Piqué. Here's the Oviedo lineup. Escandé in goal, Lucas Costa, Carmo and Lopez at the back. Colin Bato partners Sibo, Reina behind Viñas, Hassan and Ilias Chaira on the wings. He played that season in the B team alongside Marco Correa. He was on loan from Mallorca. Costas went back, and it's been very important for Oviedo this season. They've had players who have, on an individual basis, played very well, but it hasn't helped them stay at the bottom of the table. We're going to have a minute's silence at the start of the game, as has taken place around all the grounds this weekend, as Lamine Yamal picks up his Player of the Month award. He was suspended in midweek, so he didn't take part in the Champions League game. But back to start this one. 45 people killed in the train crash in Cordoba, and there was another crash 2 days later on Tuesday in Catalonia, where the train driver lost his life. So the Camp Nou will now stand in silence and remember those who have suffered those two tragedies. Minute silence for the tragedies that have left Spain shocked and saddened a week ago today when 45 people lost their lives in that train crash in Cordoba. This is Barca's first home game for 8 matches. They haven't played at home since December. They're also about to show their supporters the Spanish Super Cup, which they won in Saudi Arabia. Frankie de Jong lifting the trophy. But it's a long time without a home game. For these players, I'm not sure how that will affect them, or if it won't affect them at all.
I think they'll be pleased to be back. I mean, it's a strange season in terms of their home fixtures. They've played 9, they've won all 9. 4 of those have been at Montjuic, 2 have been at the training ground. 3 in this stadium, so they haven't played here too often, and I still think they will probably see it as a big event playing back in their own stadium.
December the 13th was the last time, and they beat Osasuna by 2-0. So we're underway. Oviedo kicking from right to left as we look, and Barca with the chance to go back to the top of the table if they can beat the bottom club. Here's Costas. Hassan flicks that one forward for Reina up against De Jong. De Jong was always going to start this game because he won't start the game in midweek against Copenhagen because he's suspended. Back it goes to Joan Garcia. Gerard Martin couldn't go back to the goalkeeper there because Fede Viñas had cut off the pass. They keep possession well. Lewandowski's flicked to Olmo. He's beat to that one though. Well, Javi Lopez penalised. Javi Lopez in the team because Raheem is out injured. On loan from Real Sociedad, Javi Lopez.
I think the official gave that there's a handball. High pressure from Oviedo, but Barcelona did almost work their way out. And I think Javi Lopez was, if it was handball, was lucky to get away without picking up a yellow card in the opening minute of the game.
Lamine Yamal. Dani Olmo. No Pedri, of course. He's going to be out for about a month. And Hansi Flick was asked before the game if he's the most difficult to replace because he's so unique in what he offers, and Hansi Flick pretty much said yes. Can't really argue with that. Olmo dispossessed by Colin Bato into Sibo. Quick early ball into Elias Chaira. It comes to Viñas, and Viñas, well, the flag is up, but first opportunity for Viñas in the 6-yard box. Well worked. Although considerably offside.
Yeah, I'm surprised the flag. When it comes down to 5 metres, I think the assistant referee's entitled to raise the flag immediately. So, as so often when you watch Barcelona, you think, well, they conceded a chance there. They didn't. It's null and void.
Gerard Martin. Sibo into Reina.
Well, they're pressing high Oviedo, which means there's a clear path through to Lewandowski. First time they did, Joan Garcia found him. He flicked it round the corner to Dani Olmo, and Barcelona nearly got out. On that occasion, his chest control for once let him down. Oviedo are committed into since Fede Viñas probably, who's got 3 goals, almost equal to that in terms of red cards.
Yeah, he's got 3 goals and 3 reds. Although, does he do too much wrong there?
No, I think Joan Garcia kicks through onto him and he's making the most of it.
Lamy with Javi Lopez very tight to him. Eric plays it forward towards Olmo. The referee's whistle blows again. Juan Martinez Muniera. It's Mario Melero Lopez, who's the video assistant referee.
I think there was contact on that one. Again, Eric Garcia on this occasion has made a rapid recovery. They're entitled to show aggression, aren't they, Oviedo? Bottom of the league, their form has got better. This is a tough fixture, of course, and why not try and assert yourself in Barcelona and make life as uncomfortable as possible in those circumstances?
Long ball from Casado to Lamine Yamal. Looking for Olmo with the outside of the boot. It comes to Chaira. Raheem out to Javi Lopez. Trying to play quick passes in the Barcelona half for Oviedo. Joan Garcia clears long, but straight to Sibo. Here's Colin Bato. Allowed to run because he thought he was offside, Reina, but Viñas couldn't get on the end of it.
Well, Hansi Flick made a real big point before the game, saying when you're playing against underdogs, it's important you dominate in the early stages, you play at a tempo that they struggle to deal with. And his team haven't started at a fast tempo. Oviedo have had more of the ball. Barcelona have barely been in the attacking half of the pitch.
And we thought Cancelo would start at right back, but it's Eric Garcia at right back and Gerard Martin partnering Koubarsi and Cancelo at left back. Eric Garcia has become so important for Hansi Flick and in so many different positions. There's Ronald Araujo, who is back available now. Can he play his part, Terry? They were so poor against defending set pieces against Slavia Prague in midweek. Has he got a part to play? An important part to play, do you think?
Very much so. There's no debate that his form wasn't as good as it has been in the past.
Now racing on to this one. He's got Lewandowski and Olmo in the middle. Cross comes in early, cleared by Costas. De Jong to Cancelo, closed down by Sibo. Here's Dani Olmo. Finley looking for De Jong. Gerard Martin for Barcelona. Trying to pick out Lamine Yamal. Yamal talking about the fact that he wants more intensity from the team. He'd like there to be more intensity. There's Eusebio, former Barca B manager, Barca player, of course. But he said that that intensity, you get that from a good pre-season, and obviously I wasn't here pre-season, so it's difficult to enforce that now when we're in the middle of the campaign.
Yeah, one of those managers that's coming in and saying perhaps the players are not fit enough, which isn't respectful to previous two managers. Pre-season is always an advantage and a need for a manager.
Give away there, straight to Hassan from Gerard Martin. But Hassan repays the favour and gives it straight to Barcelona. Olmo out to Cancelo. And switches it for Lamine Yamal. Floats that one in, but harmlessly through for a goal kick.
Just to reinforce that point we made, it is complicated being coach of Oviedo. He's the third manager. They had 17 departures, 20 new players joining. There possibly will be some more new players joining the club before the end of next week.
Well, according to Thiago Fernandez on loan from Villarreal, he's not available yet, and signed, brought in a couple of Uruguayans, Fonseca one of those, and we have seen a little bit of him. The flag is up on the far side against Ilias Chaira.
Well, the chance is there, isn't it? We're seeing it as usual against Barcelona's defensive line when they played it offside trap, and Ilias Chaira a couple of occasions has needlessly got caught offside. He just needs to hold his line, needs to work harder. Getting too excited at the opportunity of running in behind. There is space there, of course, when you play against Barcelona.
Costas. Out he goes to Hassan. Lucas continued his run. Siju goes Oviedo's way as the yellow card comes out from Martinez for Gerard Martin.
Doesn't make that much contact actually, does he? The foot goes across. I have to say that Hassan is fault the referee, which is hard to believe in the assistant referee. Maybe he was too close, but he was very close to the action. But Barcelona's been a wretched start for Barcelona. They've barely kept the ball. Oviedo look a better team at the moment. not the start that Hansi Flick was hoping for. This could make life uncomfortable for Barcelona.
Reina with the free kick. Headed away by Kubasi. He's up. Well, the Barca players surrounding the referee. The John does the talking. Maybe cost a little bit fortunate, I should say, not to be booked for kicking the ball away.
Yeah, very much so. It was a good first touch to take it away from Eric Garcia and then left it down the channel.
Get it back to John Garcia. Into Olmo. Lots of space for Cancelo down the left-hand side. Gerard Martin gives it back to Marc Casado. Eric into Lamine. De Jong away from Reina. Eric into Casado, looking for Lamine Yamal, but the pass intercepted by Javi Lopez, who sidesteps Olmo, and he's brought down by Casado.
Yeah, Casado not good enough there. It was a stray pass, it's a straightforward pass that he should have made, and he has to resort to lunging in.
His second season's not been as good as his first. Is that perhaps been because he hasn't had the continuity, Terry?
Very much so, I think. Yeah, I'd suggest that is clearly the case. Maybe he's lacking a little bit of confidence as well.
Nicely taken down by Fede Viñas, and Sibo spreads it out to Kassan. That's been brought to a stop again.
Deflects off the referee.
Right, okay.
Oviedo were kind of hoping that play continued, which was the intention of the referee, but it did allow Barcelona to, because it slowed the pass down, it allowed Barcelona players to get closer to the ball.
Well, the possession didn't change, did it? It was in Oviedo's possession, and it still was, so that's probably why they were unhappy that it was stopped. Here's Eric Garcia. He wins that one up against Javi Lopez, tries to throw it through, Costas makes the block, and in the end, the ball goes back to Aaron Escandel. Elis Chara will chase this one, try and get past Kubasi. Kubasi's clearance ran to Reina, but it's been hooked away by Gerard Martin.
Disjointed from Barcelona, isn't he? You can tell by the face of Hansi Flick. Giving the ball away on too many occasions. He'd keep it.
Yeah, he certainly would.
Yeah.
And they are going to miss him for the next 3 or 4 weeks. Ferran Torres one side, I think it was Gavi the other side of him. Gavi also out, but on his way back, Hansi Flick saying that they need to be patient with him. Fede Viñas and Kubasi down.
Kubasi's arm catches Viñas, doesn't it? I'm not sure exactly how Kubasi is injured. Maybe the landing. Thumbs up to the bench that it's going to be okay. Perhaps he's winded himself as he's landed awkwardly.
Viñas, who's we mentioned earlier, has scored 3 goals so far this season. It doesn't look as if they're going to be able to bring in a centre forward. It will become. Let's have a look at it again. Yeah, maybe the fall does for Kubasi. And as you say, he catches Viñas in the face. Starting the season playing wide, Fede Viñas, because Rondon was there. Rondon is gone now, so he's very much Oviedo's first choice centre forward. He's got a good header last week against Osasuna.
He's a handful, isn't he? Give him service. His work rate is excellent. Has made some reckless challenges this season. All his red cards could have been avoided.
Back underway. Gerard Martin.
Say reckless challenges. A couple of them have been absolutely diabolical. They've been really bad challenges.
Possibly a little bit unlucky with the last two yellows where you thought maybe they were both a bit harsh, but yeah, prior to that. He needs to stay on the pitch. They need to keep 11 men on the pitch. They have had 8 players sent off this season and it's not helped their cause. Cheap foul given away by Chida. Hassan Tasibo. He's giving it to Rafinha. Rafinha can't keep hold of it. It is Chida. Probably Rafinha's worst performance for a long time against Slavia Prague in midweek. He's made such an impact, positive impact when he came back. John does well into Olmo. And for Lamar to try and run onto, but he's been penalised. Free kick.
Yeah, it did appear to be a foul. Pass from Frankie Young didn't have enough pace on it that would allow Lamine Yamal to have a race against Javi Lopez, who's quite quick himself, to be honest. Just can't get going, can they, Barcelona? Alberto Reina struggling now. The accusation from the crowd of time wasting will stop bringing the game to a halt every few minutes. The player going down injured. He's holding his leg. The accusation from the home supporters are valid.
Yeah, he's very stop-start the first 17 minutes, and that obviously plays into Oviedo's hands, not Barcelona's. They want the game to flow. Gerard Martin out to Cancelo. Closed down by Lucas. He gets the ball to Lewandowski. Out to Rafinha. Rafinha gives it back to Lewandowski. The pressure from Costas into Cancelo. Up against Cancelo.
Someone needs to take this game by the scruff of the neck for Barcelona. The standard is well below their level. That was the first offside, and then there was another offside in the attack as well. Yeah, that's the one that's given. They are disrupting the game, Oviedo, but so are Barcelona, because they keep untidy in possession, sloppy almost.
Cancelo. Again, it doesn't stick. Played out from Carmo. Run back by Cancelo. Rafinha's away. Lewandowski and Lamine the options. Goes behind Lewandowski. He almost ran to Lamine. Carmo makes the clear. Javi Lopez makes the clearance. Hassan. The ball into his own penalty area. Costas reacted quickly. He puts it out for a throw.
Right off from Barcelona, but ultimately the final pass from Rafinha wasn't accurate for Lewandowski.
Cancelo. Away from Lucas. Rafinha. Switches it for Lamine Yamal. Back it goes. The cross comes in from Eric. Nicely taken by Aaron. Into Casado. Yamal. A foul from Javi Lopez. Out it goes to Ilias Chaide. He's got Fede Viñas making a run through the middle. support arriving as well in the shape of Javi Lopez, but that one goes out for a throw. Goes out for an Oviedo throw.
They're ambitious, aren't they, Oviedo, when they do get the chance to counter-attack. 5 players racing forward there. It's not like they're just leaving Fede Venus up front completely isolated on his own. The idea is to work hard, which you have to do against Barcelona, and when you do win the ball back, work even harder to get 2 players up the pitch. Certainly isn't one-way traffic, is it?
Absolutely not. Javi Lopez throw is headed away. Seba back to Costas.
Every part of Barcelona's playing out in 20 minutes has been well below their standard. Even Lewandowski's hold-up play, again, he got dispossessed there by Carson Sebo. Ball's not sticking with him. Untidy passing. It's again.
Launched forward by Kubasi, but it ran all the way through to Ernest Candel. We saw a couple of Oviedo substitutes warming up there. One of them was Danny Cab. I think the other one was Fonseca. Whether there's anyone out there with a problem, we haven't seen. 20 minutes in. Cancelo. Casado. Out it goes to Rafinha. Eric Garcia being closed down by Elis Chaira and wins the throw.
I think Eric Garcia was even annoyed about that pass to him. It wasn't quick enough, so by the time it got all the way to him, he was allowed to be closed down by Chaira.
Yep, there's no zip at the moment in Barcelona's football. Gerard Martin into Cancelo. Rafinha. To John. Well one back by Chaira. Reina gives it back to Elias Chaira. Eric Garcia has followed him and puts the ball out for a throw. But it's an Oviedo throw. Javi Lopez prepares to take it. Chaira comes to the ball. Gets it back from Sebo. Back it goes to Costas. Hassan. Drifts inside. The shot took a deflection. Flag is up again. To score in the top flight, Hassan. He got 4 goals last season in the promotion season.
You see an offside there if the ball comes back into play.
Casado really want that with Sebo so tight to him, but they keep possession, Barcelona. Lamine Yamal turning away from Colin Bacco and is fouled by him.
Really struggling to get any rhythm, aren't they, Barcelona? It's good closing down for Oviedo.
Elmo into Lamine. Some complaints from Cancelo on the far side. He's not receiving the ball enough. Body language certainly says that.
Even Lamine Yamal is, to be honest, he's barely kept possession. Yeah, this will be frustrating. Once he flicked, I'd say irritating and maybe even annoying him the way that his team started. Lackadaisical approach with and without the ball. They're not winning the ball back quickly either. Really untidy from Barcelona.
Cancelo drives forward past Hassan, out to Rafinha. Rafinha with the cross beyond Lewandowski, headed away by Javi Lopez. Jong sends it back to Gerard Martin, out to Cancelo. Up against Lucas. It's back inside, into Lewandowski, who couldn't bring it under control. Sibo's clearance runs straight to Casado. Rafinha back to Marc Casado. Floats that one in towards Lewandowski, an important header away from David Carmo. Out for a corner. Good interception from the man on loan from Nottingham Forest.
He's a really tall centre-back and he needed to be here. Lewandowski was poised at the far post for the side foot volley. Called in the cross, called in the delivery. We'd be desperate for more like that.
Rafinha with the cross. Eric got something on the end of it. Goes out for another corner. He's looking for his 10th goal in La Liga this season, Robert Lewandowski. 27 last season. Lamine Yamal. Back to Rafinha. Cross comes in, but too close to Adam Escandé, who prevents the ball from going out.
Hansi Flick with a lot of time out there, wouldn't he? To get his team in. Get them together. Tell them to be sharper, to liven up, to be tidier.
It's a good run from Hassan. Ilias in the middle. The shot is blocked by Frenkie de Jong. He comes out to Olmo. He makes the clearance. But it was just get rid of it. And it goes straight, therefore, to Costas. Here's Javi Lopez into Ilias Chaira. Throw goes Oviedo's way. Hansi Flick disagrees. So does Eric Garcia. Lopez towards Viñas. Kubasi heads away. Casado's layoff goes straight back to Javi Lopez. He lets it run out for another throw. They're just taking 5 or 6 seconds longer than they would normally take with every single throw, with every single free kick. There are the whistles here. Into Viñas.
Eventually the referee's going to have to at least speak to the captain, Costas, and then start taking action. But they'll continue to do it until that happens.
Escandé, back into his left foot. Puts it straight out of play.
So still with average crosses. That's been about it so far, isn't it? And then Escandé, and goal for Oviedo.
This is the referee. Javi Lopez. Intercepted by De Jong. Olmo lays it off to Casado. Rafinha shows for it. Cancelo for once not an option for Rafinha. Here comes Hassan and he drifts past Cancelo. He's now got Rafinha in front of him. The cross comes in. It was blocked by Gerard Martin. Cancelo to Rafinha. Laid off by Lewandowski. Olmo looking for Lamine Yamal. More groans from the corner as the pass goes astray. Ilias Chaira with the shot.
The groans are getting louder and louder, aren't they, from the home fans? They came and it looked like a match for the tourists today. Before the game, spirits were high. For both sets of supporters, Oviedo fans were grateful to be here. They've been here last time 25 years ago. Barcelona fans came expecting a lot of goals, a dominant performance, and it's not turning out that way. Excellent work from Oviedo. Our players certainly haven't come here looking like tourists today to enjoy the occasion. They're getting stuck into it.
Good run from Olmo in behind. He's got Lewandowski to pick out in the middle. The block from Javi Lopez. Down goes Olmo. There's more from the supporters than from the players. Barcelona, the only team in Europe's top leagues who've won all their home games so far this season in domestic competition. But we're almost up to the half-hour mark, and they're struggling to break down a stubborn and so far well-organised Oviedo. Cross straight towards Lewandowski and just couldn't get over it for a goal kick.
We're not getting closer to giving Lewandowski the service he requires, and it's just the deflection there. Makes the ball spinning, just how a link he does pull away. His expertise of moving in the box from Derek Costas. Touch too high for Lewandowski. Time allowed by the referee for Oviedo to take the goal kicks and throw-ins is they're pushing it more.
Yep, they certainly are. At the moment, they're being allowed to do that by the referee. Just saw Joan Laporta there, who's announced the date of elections, 15th of March. He is the clear favourite to remain as Barcelona president. We also saw Fermin on the bench, and you'd think that will be one of the first things that Hansi will be thinking about if he decides that an early change is the solution here. Not in the first half, presumably, but at half-time. Here's Ilias Chara running in behind with options in the middle. Viñas and Reina. In it comes, cleared by Gerard Martin. But the flag was up again.
Yeah, I think that would be the change. Casado's had no influence on the game. He's not solely to blame for this wretched Barcelona performance, but Dani Olmo has shown him recently he can play back in midfield. Hansi Flick will then probably hope that with that, it means Barcelona keep possession more, carry more of an attacking threat. You know, for better from Rafinha, from Lamine Yamal.
Rafinha making the sprint now ahead of Cancelo. The pass, though, will run through to Aaron Escandé, who just about inside his area, or was he not inside his area? The referee says he wasn't. So it's a free kick, and a yellow, presumably.
Escandé, which is cannot believe what's happened. So it'll be interesting to see the replay.
But he's not outside his area, clearly.
And I wonder who sees that. You see the assistant referee's got no view of it. The referee hasn't got a view of it. It's not something that VAR gets involved with and gives the referee a signal.
Got the yellow card as well. So complete injustice against Aaron Escandé and Oviedo. Let's see what Barcelona do from this free kick.
Should be threatening.
Rafinha and Olmo over the ball. Kubasi and Eric Garcia parked on the edge of the 6-yard box. Lewandowski poised as well. It's rolled to Olmo. His shot is blocked. It comes out to Rafinha. The spin takes it out of play for a Barcelona corner. Olmo to deliver. Comes beyond Lewandowski and gathered comfortably, held comfortably by Aaron Escandé. Well, the video assistant can't intervene in that sort of situation. You wonder if it would be handy for the video assistant referees to just be told if there is a clear error from the referee and it doesn't happen to fall in the, then just you can say it in his ear. You don't even. But yellow card for the Oviedo goalkeeper and a free kick which Barcelona weren't able to make the most of. So far, they're having a decent afternoon in the Camp Nou.
Those two set pieces sum up Barcelona's first half performance, don't they? It was terrible. Back heel between Olmo and Rafinha, I think it was ended up as a corner, then a corner delivered straight into the hands of Aaron Escandé.
Eric Now taking Oviedo style time to take the throw. Finally to Frankie de Jong. Gerard Martin looking for Olmo. It was intercepted by Colombato. Olmo to Eric Garcia. It's Lamin's turn to give the ball away. One back low by Olmo. Frankie de Jong into Lamine Yamal. He's got Eric Garcia to his right. Lewandowski and Rafinha ahead of him. Clips that one towards Rafinha. It's headed away by Lucas. Rafinha gets to the second ball. It's the better of Hassan. Thinks about the shot from distance. In the end decides to just keep possession. Rolls it to Olmo. Gets it back from him. Tries to find Lamine Yamal. Inside the stadium, trying to get behind the team.
Yeah, they're trying to kickstart some life into this performance from Barcelona. And he's watching this 35 minutes of the game. What are the reasons why they're well below par?
Cancelo, a forlorn figure on that far side. He's not being picked out, and that ball is not going to pick him out either. It goes straight to Lucas. Floated forward to Hassan. Hassan trying to feed that through for Fede Viñas. Intercepted by Kubasi. Here's Cancelo. Turns away from Reina.
I wonder whether we see so many changes in the defence now from Hansi Flick on a game-to-game basis. And last season that was a constant, the back four, wasn't it? Koundé and Ballier, fullback, Barsi, Inigo Martinez. And it's not just about the defending, it's where they start their attacking players, how they develop their play.
Chance for Olmo here, it's blocked by Carmo. Yeah, you lose those, the telepathy that develops when you have the same
And
players.
the passing lanes that Inigo Martinez came up with and Kubasi came up with. But now you're looking at Cancelo at left back and Eric Garcia at right back and Gerard Martinez at left back playing at centre back. That's where the rhythm starts.
Good run from Hassan to get past De Jong. De Jong trying his best to recover. Hassan rolls it back to Reina. Lucas, back out to Hassan. Hassan with the cross, but too close to John Garcia. And he goes long and direct up towards Lamine Yamal. Just runs it out of plays off the pitch. Rafinha wants to take the throw quickly. He's allowed to. Here's Lamine Yamal into Dani Olmo. Olmo rolls that to Lewandowski. Back it goes to Dani Olmo. Olmo. And that goes beyond Eric. I'm not quite sure what crosses are up to there. He's sort of followed the ball off the pitch and Barcelona played on. And, Sibo took his place in the centre of Oviedo's defence. Christensen in the role of unavailable players there as well.
Let's get there, be careful, she's already in boots.
Yes.
So he's the last person that really can push that line in terms of killing the game and time wasting.
Maybe someone else should take the goal kicks if they are going to take long about taking them. The shot is blocked by Frankie de Jong from Ilias.
Just goes to show you can never take anything for granted. Whenever you see Barcelona top of the table going into the surrounding games this weekend against the bottom team, really struggling in aspects of their play. Slight improvement lately, but if you don't play in the correct manner and you're not tied in, keep giving the ball away start. Obviously, Barcelona players are complacent going into this match. They're paying a price now.
Here's Hassan. He unleashes the shot. Jan Garcia makes the save. But the shot on target for Oviedo. Good work from Reina.
Prediction on this game would be at some stage Lamine Yamal will do something. Rafinha, Lewandowski, Dani Olmo. But in terms of the and that will probably be enough to score a goal to win the game for Barcelona. Then they might turn on the style. But at the moment, this is 50-50. I couldn't tell you who's the better team out of the two so far in this 40 minutes that we've played. Approaching half time. Almada will be delighted and a little bit surprised that it's been so comfortable for his team. Talking up Barcelona before the game, saying how hard it would be, and wants his team to win back possession quickly, but he knows it's difficult against Barcelona, but it hasn't been for them.
Well, he also made a big point of saying we need to have the ball. It's not going to let them have the ball. We need to get on the ball. And they had a reasonable amount of possession in this first half. The ball is rolled out to Lamine Yamal. Against Javi Lopez, he still got it, Lamine Yamal. He can't get past Javi Lopez. Optimistic protests that he might have been brought down in the penalty area.
That's what you need Lewandowski and Rafinha and one or two others to lead by example, isn't it? Frenkie de Jong. They shouldn't have to wait till half time to be the wisdom of Hansi Flick.
Still here, the Barcelona supporters trying to lift the team as Kubasi rolls that sideways to Eric Garcia, prodded forward for Casado, into Lamine Yamal. Javi Lopez straight into the tackle, and it's a foul.
Even with Eric Garcia playing at right back, he's nowhere near as attack-minded and advanced as Jules Koundé. So it is often a three at the back, whereas we want Eric Garcia to play higher up the pitch. It allows Lamine Yamal to play higher up the pitch and slightly infield. Cancelo's doing it. Cancelo's an out on the left, but Eric Garcia is kind of getting his instincts mixed up, whether he's playing right back, centre back, or centre midfield.
Well, he's the right wing position at the moment. Plays that one into Lewandowski. Up against Costas, who was tight to him, didn't foul. Oviedo clear, up to Fede Viñas, tries to protect that. But Kubasi and De Jong combine, it goes back to Jan Garcia.
Interesting to see in here. The atmosphere in the stadium at half time if Barcelona don't get a goal before the break.
So back it goes to Gerard Martin. Cancelo into Lewandowski. Costas wrestling with him, and he goes against him, and the yellow card comes out for David Costas. So it's the goalkeeper and the boss of the defence, David Costas, now both booked. Eric Garcia into Lamine, quickly played back to Eric Garcia. The cross is a teasing one over the top from Robert Lewandowski. Well, Eric Garcia got in behind there. The cross was good. Lewandowski couldn't finish.
That's where they need him to be involved more, isn't it? The link-up play. Lamine Yamal was given us offside. Possibly was, but
would have been looked at.
Yeah.
This is Lewandowski. Colombato out to Lucas. Up against Cancelo. He lost a trick. He's gone past Cancelo. The cross comes in. It doesn't quite reach Colombato. Olmo makes the clearance. Must be a frustrating player, Hassan, because he's clearly got the ability to go past players, go past top players. He's got the pace as well. if you could get the end product from him more regularly, then Oviedo would really have a player.
Exactly. He's 23, so there's still time for development in terms of playing at the top flight, which he hasn't done before until this season.
Costas switches it for Javi Lopez, but back defending is Lamine Yamal. He got there first. We're in the last minute of the first 45.
Just two, that wouldn't please the locals, will it?
No. And you hear the whistles.
We've had at least that in terms of players having treatment.
Here's Cancelo. Out to Cancelo. Again, the pass is a little bit slow and a little bit behind him, but he makes the best of it. He gives it to Rafinha. Rafinha drills it across, and Lewandowski very nearly got there ahead of David Carmo, who made the block. They still haven't completely cleared the danger. Cancelo goes down. The referee waves away the appeal. Silva plays it forward. Freddy Viñas lays it off to Hassan, and he's won the free kick. No, play continues. Which might not be to Oviedo's great advantage because Viñas stays down. Hassan has found Ilias Chaira. Across comes Eric Garcia. It's Reina making his way into the penalty area. The cross blocked at the near post. Reina had every right to go for that. There were a few extra rolls to come the referee.
That was so predictable, wasn't it?
None of us bought that.
The classic attempt to get there before the goalkeeper gets there, something before he's head to the ground. And
10 points for artistic impression.
yeah, I'm getting it. There's no waiting.
Cancelo. Into Rafinha. Rafinha almost found Lewandowski. Cleared by Javi Lopez. Cancelo trying to pick out Rafinha, and it's saved at his near post. Aaron Escandé denying Rafinha probably the best chance of the half for Barcelona.
Alarm that went off for the half-time added on minutes was almost like an alarm that woke them up. They've been hypnotised. It didn't look anything like the Barcelona team we've been seeing this season. And also that wake-up call and the fact they know that they're going into a change room where Hansi Flick might be a little bit more hostile than he has been for some time, because that was the most disappointing first-half performance I've seen from Barcelona for a long time, since the 4-1 defeat away from home against Sevilla is the other one that comes to mind. The two other games they've lost have been close, they haven't been awful. They've been really shoddy in this first half.
Well, this was probably the best chance, but it took 47 minutes to produce. It almost crept in at the near post, but Aaron Escandel made the save. He was booked in the first half. So was the Oviedo captain, David Costas, as was Gerard Martin. Let's see if things change in the second half. Joe, myself and Terry for the second 45 minutes. But half-time at the Spotify Camp Nou. It's Barcelona 0, Oviedo 0.
To overcome any difficulty, you must work hand in hand as a team to overcome challenges with talent and determination. Because together, we are stronger, and together, we will go out onto the field to win. BKT in La Liga, a winning team.
In our lifetimes again.
Welcome back to the Spotify Camp Nou. It's Barcelona 0, Oviedo 0. Not exactly what we expected at the start of this game. Oviedo have only scored 11 goals so far this season. They have gone 13 match days without a win. They're not winning here, but a draw will feel like a win if they take a point back to Asturias. They had a couple of half chances in the first half. They defended very well. Barcelona's best chance of the first half in injury time, added time, Rafinha with a save from Aaron Escandé. 12 times Barca have gone into a match day as leader and faced the bottom team on that match day. and only once has the bottom team won. That was Espanyol, Pochettino's Espanyol, back in the 2008-9 season. They got a 2-1 win. Usually, Barcelona make light work of things, including back in the 73-74 season when they thrashed Oviedo 6-2. Are we going to get 8 goals in the second half, Terry?
I would say never, but I wouldn't say never, but I can't see it. I mean, it's Barcelona finding it difficult to make a breakthrough. And you look at the statistics from the first half, they've had one shot on target, and I can't recollect a serious save for Alain Escandé. A couple of crosses, got dangerous towards the end of the half. Jules Koundé clearly looks like he's getting prepared to start the second half. One of a number of changes that Hansi Flick could make, should make, could easily make, due to that dire performance that we saw from Barcelona in the opening 45. And it started bad and fell away. That's how bad they were in that first half. So changes need to be made. He needs to liven the team up. But for Oviedo, it's been excellent first half. They're a team that are in better form since this manager, Guillermo Almada, took over. And they look well organised, well coached. They look like they've got a plan. It does involve time wasting, which I was surprised only 2 minutes was added on during that half time. Should have been more. It could have easily been triple that. So I think it's something that Barcelona will make sure the referee looks out for in the second half, but they can take matters into their own hands by playing faster, with and without the ball, playing better, with and without the ball, and trying to finally try and trouble Alain Escandé in goal for Oviedo.
Well, there are lots of alternatives for Hansi Flick. Fermin, one of the obvious ones. Balde maybe down the left because Cancelo just arrived, didn't receive too much of the ball. The option of Marcus Rashford maybe trying to run in behind Oviedo. Rafinha was quiet in the first half, but it does look as if plan B is going to be Jules Koundé. We'll wait to see what change Hansi Flick makes. Obviously, fewer options for Oviedo in terms of real quality for Guillermo Almada. Santi Cazorla is on the bench. It will be good to see him, certainly from a neutral's point of view in the second half, although Guillermo Almada has been very cold. Every time he's been asked about Cazorla, he was asked about him in his pre-match press conference, and he said, well, there's a player that plays in his position who's playing better at the moment, and that's Reina. So we have to pick the players to do the job. There's no sentimentality there at all. So let's see if we see him. Forres is on the bench, Villarreal centre forward on loan from Villarreal. Then Doncaroft, a player who appears in the second half. And Ilic, who's scored this season, and not too many Oviedo players have done that. So there are some alternatives, Terry.
Yeah, and I think Santi Cazorla, I mean, it's been difficult for him this season with the different managers. He is 41 years of age. He must have just missed out on that previous fixture 25 years ago when he was 15 or 16 years old when he was first at Oviedo. But I entirely agree with Guillermo Almada. There's no room for sentimentality. I think Santi Cazorla knows that. He's 41. Yeah. He got his job when he went back to Oviedo was to try and get the team back in the top
flight. And it was
line.
mission accomplished.
And you have to be honest and say he was playing too much football at the start of this season. They were relying on him too much, and it's beyond someone at the age of 41 to do that. Is he a good player to still come from the bench? Of course he is. 15, 20 minutes is probably what he's got left in him at the moment. And that might be what's needed today. Yeah, as you said, there are some options on the bench for Oviedo. Clearly better options for Barcelona. Be interesting to see how many they make, changes they make. Ibarra's still on, Koundé's on, probably a different position for Eric Garcia.
Well, in terms of the Cazorla option, he didn't appear last week in the defeat to Osasuna. They were 3-2 down. They had a free kick very late on in added time, and you just thought, well, this is made for Santi, but they've made the 5 changes. So it'll be interesting to see if Almada holds one change back for the Cazorla option late on in the game. But it is going to be Barcelona who make the changes. Cancelo's still out there, Casado is still out there, Eric is still out there. So maybe Gerard Martin, who was carded, is the player who has gone off, yes. So, as you say, a new position for Eric. Presumably, unless Koundé goes in the middle, but surely that's unlikely. We'll see soon enough. We're ready to get back underway. Remember, Barcelona needing to win this game to go back to the top after Real Madrid's impressive victory at the Ceramica last night. So back underway. Casado rolls it back to Eric, and it is Jules Koundé at right back. Rafinha. Sibo wins it back. Hassan, Quasi-Sibo's pass to Lucas.
Barcelona, Hansi Flick will be hoping his team speed things up. They're more accurate with their passing. That would have been the message from half-time. Let's see if there's early evidence that that's going to be the case. We can't play against the bottom team in La Liga and just have one shot on target, one that we can't remember in the first half.
Lewandowski had that taken off his toe by Gabi Costas. He's having a good game and a very good season. He is on a booking. Lucas. Colombato, Carmo, Quasi-Sibo out to Javi Lopez, forward to Ilias Chaira. Reina and Fede Viñas through the middle. It's a good run from Javi Lopez. The cross comes in and gathered at his near post by John Garcia.
Absolutely fantastic play from Oviedo there, from back to front. They did get players in the penalty box. Quasi-Sibo is running things in midfield in that defensive midfield position for Oviedo. It's almost like a 4-1-4-1. His passing has been exemplary. He's found his teammate on the majority of occasions, won the ball back cleanly as well. Outstanding performance from Quasi-Sibo.
Amin into Olmo. Laid off to Koundé. Koundé's cross was behind Lewandowski, and Sibo right on cue is in the right place at the right time to head that out for a corner.
Koundé, you can see we know what he's like. He's going to play in that attacking half of the pitch, the attacking third of the pitch.
Well, when he first moved across to from centre half to right back, that was one of the doubts. That is he going to offer anything in the attacking third? But he's more than proved us wrong on that front, and he'll be a threat for Oviedo in the second half. Rafinha with the corner, whipped in, and Lewandowski. Casado let it run beyond him, and Lewandowski so nearly made contact.
It's a very, very empty penalty box, isn't it? Barcelona players and Oviedo players, and Lewandowski is back in the scorer, and 99 times out of 100, whether he's got an eye on the defender and thinks there possibly might be a clash with an opponent that causes him some harm, so he takes his eye off the ball and does get the right contact on the finish.
Lopez forward to Ilias, out for a Barcelona throw, which Koundé will take. Well, Santi Cazorla is out with the substitutes warming up. Brecalo is there as well. Arrived on a free in the summer from Fiorentina, left winger. Another one of the options. Here's Casado. I think this pass is a loose one, straight to Fede Viñas. Quasi-Sibo turns away from De Jong, tries to play that towards Ilias. Lucas. Sibo back to Carmo. Oviedo able to take time over their passes. Reina. Out to Lucas. Fede Viñas has made a run. It falls to Ilias. Ilias' shot is blocked by Eric Garcia. Again, Oviedo making progress down that left. As if the flag should have been raised. I'm not sure that it was. Ilias' shot blocked by Eric Garcia.
Ilias have come back across to Fede Viñas. Could he have cut back and allowed Eric Garcia to commit himself to the tackle? And if he could do all that, then he probably wouldn't be playing for Oviedo.
Sam is the short option for Reina. No, because it
Because
wasn't
it was an offside, wasn't it? The corner shouldn't have been a result of that attack.
Jones' ball pass goes straight to Seba. Rafinha slides in and wins the throw. Eric Garcia. To Rafinha. Casado. Lewandowski lays it off for Cancelo. Rafinha. Dani Olmo in the middle. Lamine arriving as well. Olmo's header, well, the best he could with that was blasted at him.
It's fired in pretty fast from Rafinha. Certainly behind Dani Olmo and some possible control that header.
Carmo under pressure from Lamine Yamal. Rafinha down to Lamine Yamal. Seba makes the clearance, but straight to Olmo. Olmo's shot finds the back of the net. Us and Barcelona have the lead. Well, they asked for trouble there, Oviedo. They've made several mistakes in their own penalty area, and Dani Olmo makes no mistake with the finish. Finally, the breakthrough. 52nd minute of the game. Barcelona 1, Oviedo 0.
Well, I thought it was going to be a moment of magic from one of those players that's not playing well today. That might have been the route for Barcelona to take all 3 points. But it does come down to the failings of Oviedo, a team at the bottom of the league that are losing. They've only won 2 games this season. For 50 minutes, they didn't look like that team that can't win a game of football, can barely score a goal. Here they decide to play the ball out of the back. I think it's David Carmo who's slow in possession. Lamine Yamal does well to close him down. Colin Batu, number 11, does try to get there close enough to Dani Olmo, but probably has to work harder than what we saw there. He has to stick a leg out, he has to get another half metre closer. That closing down is never going to stop Dani Olmo finding the far corner. Celebrations for Barcelona and the players, but I think more of relief than celebrating.
Well, we saw Guillermo Almada's reaction on the touchline. He spoke so often about distractions in the pre-match build-up. He said that his team had suffered because they've been distracted at the back. They lost concentration in key moments, and that's exactly what they did there, and they paid the price. So it's a different game now. Oviedo need to produce something at the other end of the pitch, and we know they've only scored 11 times so far this season. Sebo. And he wins that one, but it's recovered by Javi Lopez, and in turn recovered by Dani Olmo.
The saving grace for Hansi Flick is whoever plays in the number 10 position scores goals. And you know, it's a fantastic problem to have for him, isn't it? That you know, having to choose between Dani Olmo or Fermin Lopez.
Throw given Oviedo's way. Fede Viñas gets the better of Eric Garcia, rolls it back to Reina. Hassan. Olmo makes the clearance as far as Rafinha. Frenkie de Jong. Here's Dani Olmo once more. And for Lamine Yamal, Costas is with him. Rafinha, I should say. And then out he goes for an Oviedo throw.
Yeah, very little going right for Rafinha. I think he should have took that on the first bounce on the half volley. He's got the quality to do that. Once he let it bounce, it was a 50-50. We will agree how brilliant Rafinha has been in the last season and a half, but I'm not even convinced it's not his twin brother out there that's playing that's never played football before, because he's been absolutely wonderful today.
Yeah, subdued again as he was in midweek. That goal, by the way, from Barcelona was the 32nd that Oviedo conceded so far this season. They only conceded 40 in the entirety of last season. Just wins the header. Cancelo gets there first. Ahead of Lucas is Lewandowski, away from Sibo. On now to Lamine Yamal against Javi Lopez. Cross comes in from Lamine Yamal. Lewandowski with a header into the hands of Escandé.
He was able easily there, wasn't he, to outpower David Costas. Centre-back, Oviedo. Player who hasn't played too much in the top flight, suddenly coming up against world-class in Robert Lewandowski. Another example of why he scored so many goals there, his physical presence, the way he held off the defender. It's a powerful header as well. Fortunately for Oviedo, was straight out the goalkeeper. Rafinha looks like the type of player that if he makes a mistake early in the game, he lets it get at him.
Yep.
And he doesn't make too many mistakes. And today, in the first couple of minutes, first 5 minutes, he made a mistake or two, and it just, the frustration builds, and he gets frustrated with himself. Then appears to try too hard with every dribble and every pass.
Well, Balde's about to come on for Barcelona. Carmel. Ilias back to Costas, who's under pressure from Rafinha, and the back pass is short, and Rafinha can make it 2-0 here, dinks it over the top of Escandé, and another mistake has been punished by Barcelona. Oviedo, their own worst enemy at the start of the second half. It's Barcelona 2, Oviedo 0.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, in the end, the finish is brilliant from Rafinha. But we're seeing two examples now of why Oviedo will probably get relegated, why they are bottom of the league, why they've gone 13 games without a win, only won 2 games this season. They performed so well in the first half. Barcelona have stepped up a gear. They're not at their scintillating best by any means. And they've been helped along the way. It was David Costas with a mistake. It was David Carmo with the mistake for the first goal. So both centre-backs are full for both for the goals. Once you give Rafinha, even if he's not playing well, I wasn't entirely sure what he was going to do. My money was on him rounding the goalkeeper. But he went for the little dink over Aaron Escandé. There's no doubt once he does that, he knows it's going in the back of the net. And he knows that it's been a struggle for Barcelona, but the 3 points, well, it's only 2-0. It's going to be hard to see Oviedo making a comeback now.
Well, it's a lovely finish from Rafinha. 8 goals now in the league. He got 18 last season. And as you say, Terry, even when he's not at his best, he's capable of that sort of finish. And Oviedo, are they finished? We've still got half an hour left to play. Can they respond to the Barcelona double at the start of the second half? Back it goes to Aaron Escandé.
The first goal for Barcelona was a result of Lamine Yamal closing down. The closing down in general from Barcelona already in the second half has been quicker, and that's probably one of the reasons why Oviedo are now making mistakes. Perhaps in the first half the closing down wasn't quick enough from Barcelona, so it was too comfortable for David Carmo and David Costas, the two centre-backs, to have the ball, not be under any pressure. And as soon as there was pressure applied, they've both cracked.
Well, Balde and Fermin are about to come on for Barcelona as he goes back to Carmel. Here's Costas. Lucas.
Well, I think Cancelo was playing too much football before in the month or so before he joined Barcelona, so I imagine that's one of the changes.
He's on loan from Al Hilal until the end of the season. And he comes up to be replaced by Balde. And the other change is Rafinha, so his last touch is the one that goes over Aaron Escandé, and he gets a hug from his manager, Hansi Flick. Here's Balde. Garcia out to Kubasi. De Jong powering away from Reina. It does well to get back in front of him without the foul, but he kept possession. De Jong. He's given it to Lamine Yamal. Lewandowski on the volley, and Barcelona maybe now looking like they're going to start racking up the goals in the half hour left.
Yep, I'm beginning to fear now for Oviedo. Two mistakes from the two centre-backs will be weighing heavily on their mind. It would have been interesting to see if Rafinha, after scoring the goal, would have taken away that pressure and anxiety that he was feeling because he wasn't playing to his normal level. And he's been replaced.
Lamine with a shot, and palmed away by Aranis Gandé. They're in the mood now, Barcelona.
Yep. Shoots in practice for Barcelona now, and Gandé with another spectacular save. Barely had to make any in the first half, in a drastic turnaround as you would expect from a team like Barcelona against opponents such as Oviedo. Gandé looks like he's enjoying himself, but
well, he's getting plenty of practice, so as he has had all season. He's been Oviedo's outstanding player, and the one who's had to do the most work, really. Such has been their play. He's trying to keep his defenders away as Olmo prepares to swing this corner in. Fermin was the closest to it. It was headed away by Viñas, out for a throw.
yeah, the penalty box is empty because Oviedo leave players up on the halfway line, which is unusual in today's football. But you do run the risk if the penalty area is empty and you're playing against Lewandowski and he's got the space to do the movements that he entirely wants to do. I would suggest now the 2-0 down, maybe stop that tactic for today. I like it in general.
Frenkie de Jong out to Lamine Yamal. Nice rondo from Barcelona. Here's Fermin. Well, the whistle's gone, and no one in the Camp Nou, apart from the Oviedo supporters, will agree with that.
We didn't see that at all in the first half of it, did we? The pace, the speed that they were passing the ball about. There's grappling going on from...
They were leaning into each
players.
other.
Exactly.
Fonseca prepared to come on. Presumably for Seba, that's the usual change. Just wonder if the manager might be thinking about Costas as well, because he was booked, and the last thing they need is to have another player suspended if he were to pick up a second caution.
Eric Bailly is out injured at the moment as well.
He's Balde. I think Nacho Vidal is the player who's ready to come on. Alongside Fonseca, here's Frenkie de Jong. Balde. Casado. Heady clearance from Javi Lopez. Colin Bato. One back by Barcelona. Here's Jules Koundé.
This might be a useful warning for Barcelona, though, mightn't it? They made such hard work in the first half. They're huge favourites to beat Copenhagen on Wednesday in the Champions League to give themselves a chance of finishing top 8.
Fermin is screaming through the middle, but he's not getting out on the end of that Balde pass. Escande read it well. Yep, and last week, of course, they were beaten by Real Sociedad. Brought to an end a run of 9 straight wins. One over the top for Reina to chase. He's got away from Jules Koundé. Can he get the shot away? There's not too much in the way of support. Frag is up.
Makes one from, maybe it's given as a handball.
Yep.
Against Reina. Makes a run from deep, gets between the Barcelona defenders.
So Fonseca coming off. At the moment, it's not Sibbo who's being replaced. Off comes Reina. Nacho Vidal is the other change. I think Lucas was the other player taken off. Eric Garcia, clearance up towards Olmo. One in the air by Costas. Headed away by Marc Casado. Carmo forward. Hassan trying to get on the end of it. It goes out for a Barcelona throw.
It'll be the same narrative against Copenhagen on Wednesday at Barcelona. They have to win, but they're huge favourites, and they'll learn from this game that if they don't approach their game properly, then it'll be a game of football they might not enjoy. And that was how the first half was. I'm sure none of the Barcelona players enjoyed playing in that first 45 minutes.
Well, they were cold, weren't they? They were cold in every sense of the word in Prague. And then caught out twice with similar set pieces, beaten at the near post. 44,763 inside the Spotify Camp Nou. Currently seeing Barcelona continue that record of having won all their home league games this season. The only team in Europe's top leagues to have done that. Eric Garcia to Casado.
Test for the posh seats, are they keeping dry in the new stadium?
It looks to be, doesn't it? Although the fellow behind Laporta looked like he was getting a little bit wet. Laporta's got a dry seat, as you would do if you were president of Barcelona Football Club. As we said in the first half, elections have been called the 15th of March, but Laporta expected to win. His opponent's not too happy about the fact that they've been called during the season. And Garcia makes the clearance. Out comes Jan Garcia. He managed to time the header right. He would have been in trouble if he hadn't done.
Yeah, apology from Pau Kubasi there. He's his teammate a little bit of trouble there, didn't he? A little bit of bother.
Koundé, one for Lamine Yamal to run onto. Carmo gets there first and steers it back to Aaron Escandé. Back out to David Carmo.
Barcelona do appear as if they think the game has won. They probably are correct in that assumption. We only saw that quick closing down for 10 or 15 minutes. It was in the 51st minute, 56th minute. Now they're 2-0 up. It's reverted back to the type of play that we saw when it was 0-0 up until the break at half-time. Different scenario, of course, now. You've got the comfort of being 2-0 up and conserve energy before that game against Copenhagen on Wednesday here. You don't want it to become a habit.
I mean, Eric Garcia. Out to Balde. Good run this from Balde. Still Balde. Can he get the shot away? Lewandowski might finish it. In the end, it was the outstretched leg of Carmo putting the ball out for a corner.
Yeah, good Good turn of pace from Balde. You get the opportunity of a break tonight, which makes the Cancelo signing useful. The back end of last season, they started picking up the injuries, didn't they, to Koundé and Balde, because they'd played pretty much all of the games.
Yeah, the flip side of what we were talking about in the first half, of playing pretty much the same back four. You get the understanding between them. You also great risk of injuries. Escandé gathers that from Olmo, bowls it out. Nacho Vidal into Hassan. Ilias Chair up against Koundé. Back to Colin Bato. Hassan's made a run through. Gets the shot away, but disappointing one that doesn't trouble Joan Garcia. Barcelona fans enjoying things now, despite the rain coming down.
Silly mistake from David Costas. And was there a doubt that Rafinha would score? Not in my mind, there wasn't. I was just interested to see which technique he used. Went for the little dink, finished it off. Hansi Flick made the decision pretty quickly, didn't he, to take him off. Rest him for the game against Copenhagen. I'm sure he's told him exactly how much he means to the team and his importance in playing in that game again against Copenhagen.
Yeah, not a foregone conclusion that even a win will definitely see them safe in the top 8. They might need to win by a healthy margin. So it's a huge game for Barcelona in midweek, and maybe they have one eye on that now with 20 minutes left and a 2-goal advantage here. Koundé, back it goes to Kubasi. Something that Oviedo might be able to take advantage of this in the final part of this game. If Marc Bernal is about to come on for Barcelona after Girona signing of Fran Beltran, it looks as if Bernal is not leaving in the January window. That would seem to be one of the options, that he might go to Girona. The kick out from Escandel goes straight to Casado, into Dani Olmo. Lamine Yamal wants it played into him. He's slightly behind him. That doesn't matter. What a goal from Lamine Yamal. Even on the quiet days, he's bold, he's brilliant, he's got the third. It's Barcelona 3, Oviedo 0.
And again, it's Oviedo gifting possession back to Barcelona, and Barcelona making them pay again. And it did appear the cross was behind Lamine Yamal, and it did appear he was going to have to shuffle the cross, get control of the ball first, but no, he decides to improvise. His eyes lit up when there was a half a chance that it might be a spectacular finish, because he prefers that. Sometimes football does look too easy for Lamine Yamal.
Well, nobody improvises better, and that's 8 goals now in La Liga. He's only one away from last season's tally, and here it is again in all its glory.
Yes, Dani Olmo is aware that the ball isn't ideal, but it doesn't matter to Lamine Yamal.
Perfect connection.
Yeah, agility, and as I say, he would have really been, when he sees that going just behind me, he knows it gives him half a chance to do something spectacular as opposed to a straightforward volley. There's an element of catching out the goalkeeper as well, who reacts quite late, because he's probably not expecting that type of finish from Lamine Yamal. Probably not expecting the shot. Hasn't been his best game, but though you can see the young supporters behind him there in the crowd, something that they'll remember. Being at the Camp Nou and Lamine Yamal scores a goal like that.
Bernal replaces Olmo, the 4th Barcelona change. Frankie de Jong does well there. They're in trouble again here, Oviedo. Roll to Lamine Yamal. Costas makes the clearance, and it still might end up in the back of the net, and it does, but the flag is up.
Yeah, a number of Barcelona players completely aware that they're offside. He's falling apart now, isn't he, for Oviedo? 15 minutes to go. If Barcelona really do, and Lewandowski's going to be hungry for goals. That's a given. He's calling for the ball there. He wants it. Lamine Yamal's probably in an offside position. He certainly is there. Lewandowski knows that. Lewandowski's got competition for his place through Ferran Torres, so the chance.
Real competition. In fact, Terry, now with both players fit, you could argue that Ferran has perhaps stepped ahead of Lewandowski. We'll find out when the business end of the season is reached, and that call has to be made. Right now, we're going to see Rooney Bardghji. Rashford doesn't appear to have warmed up at all so far. And if Bardghji comes on, he'll be the fifth and final change. Maybe it's in Hansi Flick's thinking to unleash Rashford against Copenhagen on Wednesday. Barcelona are being told to, well, now they're being told to continue and told to pause there. I'm not sure if the referee was in contact with the video assisted referee. Mario Malero Lopez. Here's Frankie de Jong. Back to Bernal.
I can't imagine that Hansi Flick would consider leaving out Lamine Yamal or Rafinha for the game against Copenhagen. So,
well, when you put it like that, Terry,
when
no,
do we get
Rashford is not going to start against Copenhagen. But getting less minutes since the turn of the year. And this might have been a game for him. At half-time, we discussed the options open to Hansi Flick. He was certainly one of them, but he's sat on the bench and doesn't look like he's going to play any part. De Jong plays this one out to Lamine Yamal. Cancelo in towards Lewandowski, headed away by Costas. Sibo gets his head to it. Forward from the substitute. The other supporters complained about the fact that the new signings don't seem to be players who are necessarily going to really spark a great escape. Fonseca has come in, but he's not been picked ahead of Sibo. The other Uruguayan to come in, striker Thiago Borbas, not great goals record, doesn't look like starting ahead of Fede Viñas. They really need something special in the month of January, and unless it comes right on deadline day, then it's maybe going to be a disappointing January for those Oviedo supporters. Everyone on their feet to applaud as Lamine Yamal is taken off. His brilliant contribution to this comfortable Barcelona victory.
Yeah, spectacular angle to see the finish there, both feet off the floor. Very acrobatic. Improvisation was excellent. Technique was to finish it off was as good as it gets as well.
So just over 10 minutes plus added time for Rooney to make an impact. He's done well with the limited chances he's had. Balde will get on the end of this. Balde rolls it back straight to Colin Bato. Colin Bato makes the clearance. Ilias is dispossessed by Bernal. Koundé. Out it goes to Rooney. Rooney Bardghji's cross came off of De Jong out to Balde.
I'm surprised Lewandowski's still out there. When Ferran Torres is injured, Lewandowski is the only option on Wednesday. He's 37 years of age.
Perhaps Hansi thinks he needs a goal. Viñas. Threaded through for De Jong, just beyond him.
Lewandowski always wants a goal anyway, and he'd be annoyed if he got brought off and having not scored.
Yeah.
And there's a slight risk.
Hassan back to Sibo. Bernal steers that one back to Eric. Jan Garcia on course for a clean sheet after perhaps by his own very high standards, not his best two games in recent days, certainly not in midweek against Slavia Prague. Doesn't change the fact that he's had a brilliant first season, or is having a brilliant first season at Barcelona. Here's Balde, out to Fermin. Casado to Koundé. Koundé drills the cross in. No one could get on the end of it.
It was a wonderful crossfield pass from Eric Garcia at the start of that move. It was literally from one touchline to the other. He plays, doesn't he, Eric Garcia? But we never know where he's going to play. But he's been really valuable to Hansi Flick this season.
He's Bernal out to Eric Garcia. This comes in, runs to Fermin. Fermin with the shot across the face of the goal. It was blocked by Fede Viñas. Goal kick's been given. Where do you think his best position is, Terry, in terms of not just Barcelona, but also for the Spain national team if he ends up in the squad?
I think centre-back is growing on me as a centre-back. My criticism when he was younger was he wasn't strong enough. Maybe an outside edge there from Fede Viñas. Kabasi gets there first, gets the touch. But I think as he's developed as a player, he's got physically stronger. He's always good understanding of the game. Technically, he's really good as well.
Well, we are going to see Santi Cazorla. The game is gone for Oviedo, but something for their supporters to smile about in the rain. On comes Santi, gets the ovation that you would expect, not just from the Oviedo supporters, but from the Barcelona fans as well. One of Spain's greatest ever midfield players, 41 years old now, and part of a triple change. Brecalao is on as well, and Thiago Borbas, the third of those three changes. And the manager already thinking about games that are winnable for Oviedo coming up to give them some glimmer of hope. They're home to Girona next up, albeit the ever-improving Girona. Then it's Rayo away, and then they're home to Athletic Club. So, three very important games. Here's Fermin. Hassan, Colombato, both made way. I think Fede Viñas was the third. Well, he'll be making statements similar to those that he's made in previous games, the manager at the end of the match, that mistakes cost us. We have to stay focused. Avoid distractions was the phrase he used before the game. Koundé's throw up to Lewandowski. He gives it back to Koundé. Koundé asking a lot of Rooney Baravaji there, and the ball goes back. Things didn't start brilliantly for Oviedo last night. They landed 3 hours late with bad weather coming out of Asturias. 3-hour delay their flight to Barcelona. And, well, the first 45 minutes, they looked reasonably comfortable, but Barcelona just went up a gear in the second half, helped by two terrible errors, and then that bit of magic from Lamine.
Yeah, I think the change with Jules Koundé coming in at half-time changed things as well. But they put the welcome mat out for Barcelona at the start of the second half with those two mistakes from both centre-backs.
Cross comes in, but it goes beyond the sliding Borbas.
First half, they wasn't even under pressure, were they, Oviedo? It was a performance that was well below Barcelona's usual level. They wasn't anywhere near their usual level. And it wasn't an instant turnaround at the start of the second half. It all changed on that mistake from David Carmo for the first goal, Lamine Yamal. Making more of an attempt to win the ball back, a quicker attempt, and led to the mistake. And then from then on, it was always going to be beyond Oviedo, a team that have only scored 11 goals all season. Something needed to come from behind at the Camp Nou against Barcelona, and of course they've not been up to it.
Works it back to Jan Garcia. He's under a bit of pressure from Thiago Borbas. Casado. Kubasi. Wrestling with Javi Lopez. Decision goes Barcelona's way. Deadline day is looming, Terry. Oviedo don't seem to have the resources to do too much, but if they can bring in one more, do you see an area where maybe they can strengthen and give themselves a better chance of working a miracle in the final third of the season? This cross comes in from Cancelo. It's headed away by Nacho Vidal, only as far as Bernal.
If I'm being brutally honest, I can't see one player making a difference anywhere, in any position. When you look at the amount of players that are coming in and out of this club since they got promotion, talked about 17 departures, 20 players coming in. I might have miscalculated that. I think there's more, to be honest, and they've spent £3.5 million was to spend for 20 players coming into the club. A lot are on loan. You don't get any continuity. You don't get players that really feel a connection with the club if they're only coming on loan for a few months or one season. They've had a go. It is difficult to make a huge change on the back of a promotion campaign.
This cross took a deflection, sends it out for a corner.
It was a playoff victory as well, wasn't it? Which gives them even less time than the others that got promotion.
June, I think it was, when they finally came back after a 24-year absence. We saw Ronald Araujo there on the bench at Barcelona, another one of the unused substitutes. Barcelona's 10th corner. Garcia gets close to, well, in the end, he didn't make contact with it, but after it had come off of Como. Here's Ilias.
He's one of the only two players they spent money on. £1.5 million to get from Girona. The other one was Luka Ilic, we haven't seen today. We haven't seen much of this season. They spent £2 million on him. The rest are free transfers or loans. People that run the club will be thinking it's highly unlikely that they stay in the division. Therefore, it will only be the possibility of loans coming in, because you don't want to go out and invest in and spend money on a player that doesn't want to be in the second division next season. As if this game gets finished, this is a real test of the stadium, isn't it? And the playing surface, these conditions.
Yeah, it's pretty open as well, and lots of supporters are making their way, are going to try to make their way to shelter, or maybe even to the exits, because there's only 1 minute left here. And the result is done and dusted. Oviedo in the end have been well beaten by a Barcelona team that moved back to the top of La Liga. And it's going to be like that between now and the end of the season. What can Madrid do? What can Barcelona do in response, and vice versa? Atletico Madrid with an impressive win today, 3-0 against Mallorca, so maybe they're also not completely out of the conversation. Villarreal perhaps are.
Suppose enjoying the weekend.
Yes,
Enjoying the weather as well.
It's always good to have a sing-song in the rain, because a torrential downpour certainly sort of boosts your feeling that you're one of the loyal ones.
Yeah, and a reminder that they're going to have to go Stadium. When it's finished, it changes every time we see a game now here. There's differences, more seats, it looks taller, it looks higher.
Bit of thunder and lightning as well. Balde can't get on the end of that. Crosses will come away with it. No, he won't. It's the free kick to be given against Nacho Vidal. 3 more minutes. It's now sleeting.
Common sense there from the referee. I'm just fearing he's going to add on 8 minutes or something.
He wants to get inside as well.
But job done for Barcelona. They made half work of it. It's not a first half performance they would have enjoyed. The fans, the players, Hansi Flick, they helped on their way with those 2 mistakes at the beginning of the second half. But they can't afford too many more games like this with Real Madrid breathing down their neck. Atletico Madrid are hanging onto the coattails and not win for Simeone's team today. Villarreal drop off the pace. It's looking like a 2-horse race. We can't entirely rule out Atletico Madrid, but Barcelona can't afford that type of sloppy performance we saw in the first 45 minutes of the game. I'm sure Hansi Flick will be glad that he can warn his players about that type of performance from a game that they've won. Was it a hangover from losing against Real Sociedad? Possibly could have been. They did.
And the trip to Prague, yeah.
As you said, they were cold in their trip to Prague. Now today they're soaking wet.
Eric Garcia out to Balde. Fermin, Lewandowski.
This is some pretty heavy stuff though.
It is. And no one will complain if the referee makes 3 minutes, 2 minutes, but we are going to get the full 3 minutes. Vidal, back it goes to Costas. Very good in the first half, made the mistake for the second goal with that back pass short and gobbled up by Rafinha. Castro into Koundé. Touch for Santi Cazorla. Trying to turn that one over the top for the run of Ilias. The consolation goal in this for Oviedo. The shot comes in, is spilled by Joan Garcia. Still not been completely cleared. And in the end, Ilias Chaira can't get any power in the shot, neither could Nacho Vidal. And here's Fermin Lopez. Barcelona have got, it's 4 against 4 here. Can they make the most of it? It's rolled into Robert Lewandowski, and that's a good save from Aaron Escandé. And that will ruin Robert Lewandowski's afternoon. He hasn't scored. The game is over, and Barcelona in the end have won this comfortably. Everyone thoroughly soaked, even Joan Laporta, but he'll be a happy man. Business as usual, although as you say, Terry, they stumbled and stuttered a little bit in the first 45 minutes.
Yeah, but it's 3 points ended. Real Madrid went ahead with their win last night at Villarreal. The pressure was on Barcelona. They did have a game where they were complacent, playing against the team at the bottom of the league, but 3 good goals in the end from Barcelona's perspective, particularly that spectacular goal from Lamine Yamal.
Some players seem to defy the odds. Microsoft AI analyzes millions of data points, including shot angle, defender positioning, and distance from goal, to reveal the exact probability of La Liga's most epic moments. Understand the magic with Beyond Stats, powered by Microsoft Copilot and La Liga.
Watch La Liga live on Supersport, the world's best football. It's on. This broadcast is proudly brought to you by SportyBet. Play with champions.
Sunday afternoon action in La Liga EA Sports kicks off at the Riyadh Air Metropolitano. Atletico Madrid aim to make it successive wins in Spain's top flight. The side in 4th place in the division have the chance to move into 3rd, but to do so, they'll have to get something from this game against visitors Mallorca. That's another corner towards the near post. That was the header, the angle wasn't there. And that one is nodded right. We mentioned the absence of Griezmann, also Here comes an opportunity for Atletico Madrid. Sørloth, can he get a left-footed shot off? He can. It's stopped by the goalkeeper. The follow-up is not quite there, and the goalkeeper has really sold himself down the river there. But it works out for Leo Roman as he was able to dive at the feet of Pablo Barrios. And he racks up the saves. And a trio came from just that one move upfield.
But it's the players themselves that are not used to that a referee that allowed play when it was a dispute of the ball. On the back of it, he's remained.
Metropolitano playing some of his favours in. There's that long run-off area on the near side. And he's using it to the fullest. And this one hit on the drop and put in by Sørloth on the follow-up. It was Llorente who stung the hands of Leo Roman. It was too hot to handle for the Mallorca goalkeeper. And in the right place at the right time is Alexander Sørloth. Atletico Madrid 1, Mallorca 0.
Well, Simeone got something that he's been asking for. Accumulation of chances, number one. Midfield has been offensive and creating something, things that make a difference. And they got it in here. Mallorca were defending quite well, but then, of course, if Llorente hits it like this, then it's anybody's ball.
And the first one over, the header away is by David Lopez. Alvarez. There's a look at this, and it's another one that stings the hands of the goalkeeper, Pablo Barrios, this time with a right-footed drive. It was straight at Leo Roman, but it came at him fast and furious. Here's Llorente. Llorente's got some space for himself. Play back to Mojica. First time cross in from Darder. Morici with a header wide. First sniff he's had of a chance in the second half. And the opening could be there for Llorente. He'll bring that ball across and it ricochets into the net. It's going to be an own goal for David Lopez. And it's 2-0 to Atletico Madrid, the goal that they have been searching for. And a goal which will make things just a little bit easier in the final run, the final quarter hour of this game. Atletico Madrid 2, Mallorca 0. David Lopez putting in that dangerous ball after some clever build-up. Marcos Llorente will get a large amount of credit.
Yes, clever, but also, again, energetic. With Marcos Llorente closer to the dangerous part of the pitch instead of having to run from the right back, it means that he will get there first to things, because he's an athlete, as you described him earlier. That those crosses will be decent crosses, at least crosses with a question mark.
It's Llorente, it's on central. Another substitution is going to be made with Koke coming on shortly. Here's Morici. Steps outside, a little bit slow from him. He tried to benefit from the deflection. He does get a corner.
I just feel the ball was an enemy there. It just didn't place itself where he wanted them to be in front of him to get that shot early, but by the time he did it, he was blocked.
Alvarez. Off the near post, there was the flick on. It's come back out. Still inside the box, right-footed drive, and net buster. Almada, well, he's been begging for more minutes. He stakes his claim with a super strike, and he took his time over it as well. Didn't hurry, then powered the ball past the goalkeeper to make it 3-0. Mission accomplished at the Metropolitano. It is 3-0 to Atletico Madrid against Mallorca.
3-0 is more in tune with what we've seen today, but it's good that a substitute, important moment for them to see what kind of season they're going to have.
Oh, it's dragged away, and Koke goes for goal. Forces a save from Leo Roman at his near post. It may be the final chance for an open play in this game. Things beginning to pick up for Los Colchoneros as Atletico Madrid pick up 3 points here at home. Still a almost impeccable home record.
What is so special is how intimate it is. Every single minute is lived by the crowd, but at the same time, purist and rugby enthusiasts. EPCR Challenge Cup, where challengers become champions.
Watch Watch La Liga live on Supersport, the world's best football. It's on. This broadcast is proudly brought to you by SportyBet. Play with champions.
Wanna make another buck.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the jungle. As the music is sounding inside the RCD Stadium, match day 22 of La Liga EA Sports gets underway with Espanyol hosting Alaves. Look inside the home dressing room. They'll be looking for a win. It's been 4 games without one for the home side, just 1 point out of the last 12, but they've got up to such a good start that they're still in 5th on 34. As for this team, the visitors, Deportivo Alaves, they're 15th on 22 off the back of a 2-1 win against Betis. They've taken 6 out of the 9 points, but only 4 points on the road. No one's got a worst away record. And Alaves is something they'll need to improve in that very, very tight race against relegation. I'm joined by Chapi Ferrer. Chapi, Espanyol, we said it, 4 games, no win, 2026, still looking for that first victory. They were maybe punching above their weight before that, but a brilliant start to the season. Now they're reaping the rewards and they can afford to drop points. It's staying up, it's avoiding the drop, it's not qualifying for the Champions League or the Europa League.
Exactly, Bruno. As you said, well, I think that possibly the start is better than expected. So a team that it was built basically to defend and to play with quick transitions, they have been improving a little bit in terms of an open play and building and having the ball. But the essence is still the same. What happens that when you are a team that mainly